Good morning, students. In the previous class, I had explained you the interconversion of states of matter, and today I am going to explain you the terms related to interconversion of states of matter, and I will explain you the law of conservation of mass. In the diagram, we can see there is the interconversion. Solid on melting changes into liquid. Liquid on evaporation changes into gas. Gas on condensation changes into liquid, and liquid again on freezing or solidification changes into solid. There are some solids, they directly changes into gas on heating. They are the sublimation process. By the sublimation process, and gas will directly change into solid by the process of deposition. Let us see the definitions one by one. The first one is melting or fusion. The process by which a solid substance changes into liquid substance, that is called the melting or fusion. Let us see in the diagram. Here is ice. Ice is solid. Ice melts. This process is called melting or fusion. Melting point. It is the fixed temperature at which a solid changes into a liquid at atmospheric pressure, normal atmospheric pressure. For example, melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius. But it is important to note down that different substances have different melting points in their pure states. Not the same different substances have the same melting point. Next term is evaporation. The process by which a substance changes from liquid state to vapor state is called evaporation, and evaporation takes place at all temperature. Day or night evaporation takes place. Only the difference is at daytime the rate of evaporation is more, nighttime the rate of evaporation is less. The daily life example is wet clothes dry due to evaporation. Our next term is boiling. The process by which liquid starts forming gas bubbles at atmospheric pressure is the boiling. And boiling point, the fixed temperature at which a liquid starts changing into gaseous state. This temperature is called the boiling point. The example is the boiling point of pure water is 100 degrees Celsius. Here it is important to know that in evaporation liquid changes into gas. In boiling the liquid changes into gas, but here it forms gas bubbles. In evaporation gas bubbles are not formed, but boiling gas bubbles are formed. Evaporation takes place at any temperature, but boiling takes place at a fixed temperature. For example, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Next term is condensation. The process by which a substance in gaseous state changes into its liquid state is called condensation. And condensation point, it is the temperature at which a gas starts changing into its liquid state is called condensation point. For example, condensation point of a steam is 100 degree Celsius. That means at 100 degrees Celsius water changes into vapor, and at the same temperature 100 degrees Celsius a steam changes into liquid again. Liquefaction. It is the process by which a gas changes into its liquid state by applying pressure and lowering the temperature. By lowering the temperature and increasing the pressure, we can change a gas into liquid. This is called liquefaction. Next term is freezing. The process by which a substance in liquid state changes into its solid state is called freezing. And freezing point, the temperature at which a liquid starts changing into its solid state is called its freezing point. For example, freezing point of pure water is 0 degrees Celsius at normal condition, but it is important to note that if the water is not pure, then the freezing point may change. Sublimation. the process by which certain substances changes directly from solid state to gaseous state on heating and vice versa on cooling. Let us see in the diagram. Solid substance, a substance in the solid state, when we heat it directly changes into gaseous state, and when we cool that gaseous substance, then it will turn back into solid substance. This process is called sublimation process. Some examples of the sublime substances are camphor, ammonium chloride, naphthalene balls, iodine. They are the sublime substance. Now let us move to the next topic, law of conservation of mass. It was given by Anthony Lavoisier, which states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. That is, in a chemical reaction, total mass of the reactants, the substances which take part in a chemical reaction, is equal to the total mass of the product, the substances which are formed during a chemical reaction. It will be clear by this example. If carbon burns in oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide. Here the mass of carbon is 12. Here one atom of carbon, so it is 12 into 1, 12. Oxygen, its mass is 16. Here 2 atoms of oxygen, so 16 into 2, its mass is 32. Total mass becomes 44 gram. On the product side, we can see here is 1 atom of carbon, so it is 12. 2 atoms of oxygen, so it is 16 into 2. Again we will get 44. We can see the total mass of the reactants is 44 and total mass of the product is 44. So it follows the law of conservation of mass. Actually, every chemical reaction follows the law of conservation of mass. Now, experimental verification of the law of conservation of mass. In the diagram, you can see here are different substances. These are the reactants, these are the products, and these are the apparatus. We will see that the total mass of the reactants and apparatus will be equal to the total mass of the product. What are the materials required for this reaction? A conical flask, 10 ml test tube, conical flask, 10 ml test tube, 2 measuring cylinder which is not shown in the picture, thread, weighing balance, it is not shown in the picture, barium chloride, and sodium sulfate solution. These are the reactants which is necessary for this experiment. What is the procedure? Take 5 ml of sodium sulfate solution in a conical flask. Here we can see in the conical flask, here is a solution of sodium sulfate 5 ml. Now we take 5 ml solution of barium chloride in the test tube. Taken. Tie the test tube with a thread and hang it in the flask very carefully so that the two solutions do not mix. Put a cork in the mouth of the test tube. Very carefully weigh the conical flask on a weighing balance and note down the reading, that is what is the mass. Now tilt and twist the flask. Tilt and twist the flask so that the two reactants barium chloride and sodium sulfate mixes with each other, and when they will mix, the chemical reaction will take place. We will get a white precipitate of barium sulfate and aqueous sodium chloride. What we have to do now? Again weigh the contents. We will find that total mass of the apparatus plus reactants before reaction is equal to the total mass of the apparatus and product after reaction. So the conclusion is this reaction follow the law of conservation of mass. That means our law of conservation of mass is verified. If you have any doubt, you will call me. Thank you. Have a nice day. Have a nice study.